I am preparing this screenshot video for you so you can review on sharing content in Blackboard Collaborate with your students. So here I have a lecture hall that I've created for one of my classes. I'm going to go over here to my menu and I can join the session here, or I can just click on the session and here at the top I can join. So now that I am in Blackboard Collaborate, let's let this do its thing here. Okay, I'm now in Blackboard Collaborate. Remember to turn on your microphone if you're going to be sharing audio. So you would turn on the microphone. I'm going to go ahead and leave that off. And of course, I'm sure you remember that your tools are over here in the Collaborate panel. So I'm going to click on the panel. One thing I wanted to just show you to maybe help, because I know that you were switching back and forth between the chat and that sort of thing. I am able to, I'm going to merge this back. Normally we have down here at the bottom our chat tool. Then we also have our attendance tool. This is your roster, who is in the room and what role they are in. Then we have our share content tool. So one thing that helps me to be able to keep track of my students while still keeping track of my chat is up here in the top right corner next to where it has the number of attendees. There's this little kind of collaborate menu. Whenever you see this circle with 3 dots, it's a menu. So I'm going to click on that and I select to detach this panel. This allows me to put my roster panel over here on the left so that I can always see all of the students that are in my class, whether they raise their hand or if they give me some kind of sign or something that they need assistance. Whatever the case may be, I am able to control all of the attendees here in this panel while still being able to move around in my other Collaborate tools. And I have found that to be really helpful. One, it minimizes the number of tools in this menu over here on the right, so I don't have to click around as much. And it allows me to see my students. It's kind of like seeing my students in the classroom. I can see if they are there, if they got kicked out, if they had to come back in. I can see if they're raising their hand or if their microphone is on. All of those different things are available to me at all times. And so I just leave that panel, what we call detached. If you want to put it back, you click on, of course, that Collaborate menu, and you can merge the panel back into your Collaborate tools. And so here it is now in the Collaborate tools. So I'm going to go ahead and just detach it again so you can see how that works. Detach panel. And now my roster is here on the left of my toolbox, and it's always available to me no matter what. So now I can keep track of my students as well as I am in the chat room right now. So if there was anything going on, I could chat. But you want to know how to share content, so let's get to that. So here we are in our share content tool. Remember, it's the square with the arrow to the right, meaning we're sharing our content. If I want to share the whiteboard, you may know how to do this already, but I just want to go through them. If you want to share the whiteboard, you simply click Share Whiteboard, and the whiteboard is now available to you. You have the drawing tools here, and you can draw on the whiteboard and type on it, all of those sorts of things. Just remember, when you are sharing the whiteboard, students also, in whatever mode they're in, most of the time you will have them as participants, they are also able to write on the whiteboard. They will have these same tools up here in the left-hand corner. They will have these same tools available to them. So if you want to have them participate and say you draw something on the whiteboard and you want them to circle it or underline it, something like that, they have the same drawing tools available to them, and you can ask them to do that. If you do not want them to do that, then I just wouldn't say anything. Then we have, when you are done sharing, always click the stop sharing. So you can click that circle with a square in it, and that will stop whatever it is that you're trying to do. Next is the share application or screen, and this is where it gets a little tricky. So on this one, as long as you are in Chrome, you will have 3 options. If you select a different browser, you're going to run into trouble with sharing any kind of application or screen. Your best bet is always use Chrome when you're in Collaborate. It gives you the best options and the best experience. So we can share our entire screen. So here you can see we have entire screen here. Before you share, you'll notice that the share button was grayed out. You have to click on what it is you want to share in the box. So if you had two monitors, you might have two screens on here. So click on the screen that you want to share, and then you would click the share button. Now when you share your entire screen in Blackboard, you get kind of this long infinity type of, there we go. You get this kind of long infinity, they call it an infinity screen. That's because I'm sharing Blackboard within Blackboard. It's perfectly normal, don't worry about it. You can then switch and share whatever it is on your screen that you want to. The only thing is that you won't be able to see it in Blackboard. You'll be seeing it on your computer, and the students will be seeing it in Blackboard. When you're done, you just click on that button. Now let's go back. So in the share application screen options, you can also share just an application. I like to use this particular tool when I want to share a Word document because I use a blank Word document as a whiteboard sometimes so that I can save the document and then send it to my students later. That's just an application that I use. If you want to share your PowerPoint but not upload it into D2L, I know you had some issues with Word documents. If you want to share the Word document, but you don't want to load it into Blackboard, like convert it into a PDF or anything, then you can share just the Word document. As a matter of fact, let me open a Word document. I'll open my unknown lab report. So now if I look here, I now have let me just move this out of the way. So now my unknown lab report is available here. Click on what it is that you want to share, the application that you want to share, and then click share. So now within Blackboard, in just a second, my Word document is going to show up. So now my students can see the Word document and I can talk to them about it. I can move the Word document over in my own screen, and now I can say I want to draw on it. So I would select a marker and I would say to my students, I'm going to select a red one and say, okay, make sure that you do this section here. Make sure you write this test result. Remember that this is A over G. So I can do everything on my Word document that needs to be done, and it can be seen by the students in the screen. The last thing that we want to share, by the way, a quick tip. If you are going to share an application, if you notice, I minimized my Word document so it was in my toolbar at the bottom of my screen. The document has to actually be open for you to be able to share that application. So make sure you can make it small, but make sure that it's not in your toolbar. It's not completely minimized. Otherwise, it won't show up in here. It has to actually be open. Just a little tip. Now, the last option you have in sharing sharing the screen, so to speak, is to share a tab. Because we are in Chrome, Blackboard Collaborate will allow you to share any of the tabs that you have open in Chrome. So here's the lecture hall that you and I are in right now. I could share with you this Google Doc that I was working on a little bit earlier. I could share my email with you, my one login. So any of the tabs that I have open up here at the top, I can access. Now, I was looking for a video for you earlier, so I was in my YouTube channel. So here is my YouTube channel, and if I want to share a video that has audio in it with my students, I would select, I would already have that ready in YouTube or whatever online format you have it. I would select it here in the Chrome tab, and then always make sure in the bottom left-hand corner you select Share Audio. If you don't select Share Audio, then the students will be able to see the video, but they won't be able to hear it. So you have to tell Collaborate that you wanted to share the audio from that tab as well. I then select Share. It takes me to the actual tab, but I'm going to go back to our Collaborate room and open that up. And here it is. So now the tab that I have opened up here on the right is now open in Collaborate, and when I have to play it from this tab, but when I play it, the students will not only be able to see the video, but they will also be able to hear the video because I selected that share audio button in the bottom left-hand corner. When I am done, I can stop sharing here in the top right corner, or I can select my stop button here. If I want to share files, I can just simply go straight to the share files. I have downloaded a file, a picture. I'm going to select that picture and select share now. So now I have a picture here. I probably shouldn't share this one. It's a student picture. Let me go down here. So here I have a Word document that I had drawn on, had done some work on, and I converted it to an image, to an actual picture. When I want to share a file, notice I have the Add Files tab here. I'm going to click on my Finder. I'm going to find, here's a PowerPoint I converted to a PDF. I just drag it up here to the Add Files, let it process. Sorry, this takes a second. There we go. Once it's highlighted in black, I select the Share Now button, and now I can share my PowerPoint. Here's a tip. When sharing a PowerPoint or a multi-page document, which will show all of these pages, you do not have to stay on this particular tool. So let's say I am lecturing on these two tests in my micro course today. I would put up my PowerPoint. I see that it's being shared. I now will click on my chat tool, because if my students type a question or make a comment in the chat room, I want to be able to see it. So I click on the chat tool so that the chat will be available to me. My student roster, since I detached it, is available to me as well. I can see my student activity in here. And when I want to move from one slide to the next, or one page of my document to the next, down here at the bottom, I have my navigator tool. So I can move through the pages without having to go back to the share tool. And this way I can just control it from here, and it's very easy to move through the document. I can still see my student chat questions. I can still see my student roster. If I want them to raise their hand, I'll see that. And so I kind of have everything in front of me at once. So I hope that that sharing, I'll just go back to the share tool, that sharing, learning how to share between these three tools here, I think was, from what I understood in your email, was where you were having some issues. So I just wanted to review those tools for you. Another tip, you do not have to hit this stop button every single time. If you are moving between these tools, I can just click on the tool and it will switch what I'm sharing. The only time that you have to click this stop, I'm just going to put that right there just so we have it. The only time that you have to click that stop is when you're moving from one application or screen to another. So if I wanted to change in here, if I wanted to change what I was sharing, I would have to stop and then hit it again to share a tab instead of a window. But if I want to just go from share application screen, I'll just put this one up here. So here I am sharing a tab, a Chrome tab. It'll pop up in a second. Just takes a minute. You always, by the way, you always know what tab you are sharing when you see this little blue square in the tab. That's telling me what tab I'm sharing. There it is. So I know that this is the one that I'm sharing. If you have multiple tabs open at the top, you always look for that blue square. It'll tell you which tab you are currently sharing. So if I wanted to switch from this tab to a new tab, I would have to click the Stop Sharing application. But if I want to go from sharing a tab to sharing a file, I can just click on Share Files, click on the file I want to share, select Share Now, click on the first page that I want to share, and it will automatically change to what I'm sharing. So you don't have to hit that stop button for every single thing. You only have to use that stop button when you are sharing a new application or screen. So I can go back to this, and I didn't have to hit the stop button. I only have to do that if I'm going from one tab to another. So I hope that was helpful with the sharing tools. I'm going to upload this on YouTube in my channel. There are about 10 or 15 other videos on my YouTube channel that I've made for other faculty members that is intended to help them with other tools, such as the polling tool, the breakout groups. So as you get more comfortable and more confident in Blackboard Collaborate, you are more than welcome to go to to my YouTube channel and look at any of those videos. It's everything from learning how to enter into Collaborate, how to make a session, how to move around in the tools, to more complicated tasks like using breakout groups and those sorts of things. If you have any other questions or there's anything else you would like to know how to do, please email me and I will make you a screenshot video so that you will have it and you can watch it as many times as you need so that you can become comfortable. I hope you have a good day and I hope this helps.